Okay, we're going to give Colin McMahon from Keypoint Intelligence a call here, and he's going to do a little interview with us about Marchzware for the printing industry. So let's give him a ring here on Microsoft Teams. Hello, Colin.
Morning, Dave.
Morning.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Do you see me?
I can see you.
Okay, cool. But I'll screen record it, you know.
Yeah, no, that's fine. If you want to just do a recording, that's
Yeah.
good with me.
Okay, cool. I won't mention about your house and all that. You know, we'll just.
It's fine. I mean, I think it's kind of understood right now that that's where we all are.
Oh, it's crazy. Where are you based, Colin?
I'm in Quincy, Massachusetts, so I'm not in Boston, but like I could see it from my backyard if I walked out.
Oh yeah. How's it going? I mean, I'm from Andover. I grew up in Andover.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Welcome to The Keypoint, presented by Keypoint Intelligence. We help you cut through the noise of data, offering unbiased insights in printing, technology, and communications.
At Keypoint Intelligence, we transform data into analysis, testing into tools, and insights into strategy. We provide strategic planning resources including market research, competitive intelligence, testing, sales training, go-to-market support, and customer engagement to suppliers and service providers.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of The Keypoint. I'm your analyst, Colin McMahon, joined today by David Dilling.
And I'm based in Europe, in the Netherlands, but American, originally based in the Netherlands for Marchzware.
Welcome, David. Great to have you here.
Thanks for inviting us.
So in your words, can you tell us a little bit more about Marchzware and specifically your role within the company?
Sure. What I like best about Marchzware is that the founders come directly from the graphic arts business, actually pre-press and publishing to be more exact. And they're still active in the company. And yeah, that's really great that they have a real understanding of what it's all about in advertising and getting a final product out to print, which is part of our reason for our flagship product, Flight Check, for pre-flighting all different types of file formats before going to print to make sure everything's going to output correctly. And on the other side, our product line is the conversion. And that's where another part great about working at Marchzware is we're often seen as sort of like the Switzerland of the industry. So we're sitting in between all the different desktop publishing formats and print formats and PostScript, PDF, and InDesign, Quark, PageMaker, and helping bridge the gaps between them or bring them together, so to speak. So yeah, that's made working for Marchzware a lot of fun, really, and very interesting. I've been here myself about 20 years. I grew up in Massachusetts, and I went out to California, and I swore I never would leave California, beautiful weather, and I found Marchzware, and here I am in Europe. Whole other story, but I've been with Marchzware for 20 years, started out handling Marchzware Europe, and now I also help out with marketing and actually do a lot of like what you're doing. I interview customers and get feedback from them and hear how their experiences with our products.
I guess that makes a lot of sense because if Marchzware is this bridge, then I guess you have to know where to start the two ends of the bridge to connect it, right? So you don't talk to clients. How would you know which solutions they need help with?
Exactly. Actually, that's one of the things that founders of Marchzware really pushed from the beginning when I started working there was, we need to get the customer feedback. And they wanted to actually talk to the customers and still do. Our chief engineer still writes these long emails to customers and they're just blown away like, wow, because that's how he learns and the other engineers learn what to program. And that's how we learn as marketing and let's say product development and research to where to focus, you know. For instance, now Affinity Publisher has come on the market from Serif, a group in England. And they make a fantastic desktop publishing rival for InDesign. I guess you can't really call it a true rival yet to InDesign, but it's really coming on strong. And even our CEO, Patrick Marchese, sees it as taking over InDesign at the rate it's going now if they keep the development going. And
so we see in the future that there will be a lot of Affinity Publisher files. That it will be the desktop publishing platform of choice in the future, even beyond InDesign, if you can believe that.
Wow. That is actually hard to believe, but
well, it was hard to believe. Remember with Quark Express, we thought that they were going to last forever. And the thing that was neat about Quark Express back in the day is that
who knows what happens, but that's what Switzerland's all about. You know, you just sort of stay in the middle and stay nimble and see what happens in the market and help the customers.
Let's talk a little bit more about the products and offerings that Marchzware offers their clients. So it's all for the print space, it's all for the print industry, but can you tell us a little bit more about some of your main offerings?
Sure. The traditional offering is, like I said, Flight Check, our pre-flight software, standalone application to check files before going to print. And that's actually being totally revamped. So keep an eye on our website, join the mailing list to get more information on the new version of FlightCheck, which will be really amazing. It's already really cool. And this has been our flagship product. And luckily, we weren't a one-trick pony, as they call it. We had Q2ID come out later on, which is Quark to InDesign. And that still is an amazing top seller. It's amazing how many Quark Express documents are still floating around out there. So this has been our traditional line, and PDF to DTP, our PDF to InDesign, has also been very popular with printers and publishers. And what we're working on now is a sort of a transition to our new line of products. The new FlightCheck will be coming out soon. Well, not that soon, in a year or so. And the other products that are coming out in the short term are the Marks line, as we call them. And our first product is ID Marks, which is already out. And coming out, hopefully, later this week will be QXP Marks. And these work with InDesign files and QXP Marks with Quark Express files to preview, export, and transition those file formats into completely other file formats. So taking the conversion route a whole other level, the conversion bridge, as you were calling it, a whole other level.
Now, you mentioned that you have some products that work with InDesign. Can you speak to why your company got involved with that particular program? And I mean, you just mentioned that there might be a replacement coming. Are you worried at all about that? Or do you trust your guys? You can adapt. Like, do you trust that that will happen if it happens?
As you probably know, Colin, you never know. And I said, I'll never leave California. And here I am in Europe. So never say never.
No, 2020 has been a year for disruption. To put it very lightly.
Who would have ever guessed all this a year ago or even 6 months ago? So incredible. But yeah, are we worried? No, not really worried, but we keep an eye on things. You never know what tomorrow brings. Affinity Publisher might become the next big thing. But in terms of InDesign, so back in the day, we had Quark Express and PageMaker, and you had Ready, Set, Go and Microsoft Publisher, some other stuff as well. But it was PageMaker and Quark Express. And our tools back then, PM to Q, PageMaker to Quark, was a top seller. Everyone was going from PageMaker to Quark because PageMaker was kind of a little more popular than Quark in the beginning, and then they switched all to Quark. Quark was huge. I mean, as you know, Quark was the powerhouse up until InDesign bought out all this and took over PageMaker and then made their own InDesign application. And around CS2, and then certainly with CS3, it really became very much a Quark killer, as they called it. And at the same time, Quark had company problems, didn't listen to their customers, didn't build bridges, and InDesign did, and Adobe did. Adobe is a fantastic company. Look at Adobe stock price, how it's gone up, I think from like $21 to what's it now, like 200 and something, maybe $300 or something.
A very well-run company.
I mean, we only just would have invested back then. I thought about it 100 times, but story of my life. Anyway, so Adobe's doing great. And obviously all these Quark people wanted to switch to Adobe InDesign. And with our pre-flighting, we quickly started checking or handling InDesign files. And with that pre-flighting knowledge of the InDesign file format, we could obviously then convert files from Quark Express to InDesign. It's important to mention what Marchzware does. We're taking proprietary file formats like Quark Express and Adobe InDesign and converting them or interchanging them, which is a monumental task because it's not a published file format. Yeah, so that's how we got with InDesign. Once again, customer demand and a lot of engineering, amazing work, and we pulled it off.
So in your opinion, what print companies should look to Markzware for products and solutions? Like, how will they know that you can help them out? So if I'm a print service provider listening to this, how do I know that, I should talk to Markzware?
Well, we're really friendly.
Sure.
No, well, we are friendly for the most part, of course, but I think it really depends on the task at hand. Obviously, if you have a customer as a printer that needs to convert a Quark file to InDesign or wants you to convert to work on a multi-page PDF and redo it, you want to look at our PDF to InDesign or PDF DTP product. Our new ID Marks, if you have people wanting to get into Affinity Publisher from InDesign or Quark Express with the new QXP Marks, you want to look into those products. I think for printers want to get the job done and they don't want to mess around. And that's where we help. We just help get the job done, whether it's converting or getting vital file information over the file formats.
Yeah, I mean, efficiency and affordability, I think, are going to be hallmarks for the rest of this year.
Yeah, well, luckily we are very affordable, always have been. Back in the day with FlightCheck, people said we were crazy for selling it for $399 back in 1995. Yeah,
right.
They were really mad at us, some of the other people in the industry, so to speak. And Pat and Ron were like, no, we got to keep it affordable. And it was a great decision because we had mass adoption with that product. And still our products are $199 for most of our conversion products or less. So it's a great deal.
It's software as a service model, right? So it's all subscription based too? Or is it a flat out one-time purchase?
Yeah, we're sort of wavering in between the two. We have both because we've seen the backlash. We went a subscription model with Adobe, and the backlash has been quite big, particularly in like a lot of countries, like in Germany and stuff. They just don't want to deal with subscription.
Sure.
And I think even in the US, a lot of people just prefer not to have a subscription.
Yeah, I mean, if you can just buy something, buy it.
Exactly, right out, own it. And that's why we give people options, subscription model and perpetual, as we call it, the lifetime version. The thing is, people need to understand subscription isn't all that bad, particularly for professionals, because if you're going to be using the product anyway, I just wouldn't recommend having that auto renew clicked on. So every year you get reminded it's time to renew, you manually click it and it's done. But I understand people. I mean, I love my Adobe subscription. It's just so easy and affordable. Of course, I'm using it every day. So obviously I'm going to make money off of it, or Markzware is going to make money off of this. But in any event, yeah.
So now we got to get, obviously, time to do at least one question on current events. So the COVID-19 pandemic, we're in day 5,085,000,085, I think. So what impact, if any, has COVID-19 had on you guys?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Well, I mean, where do you start? It's definitely had an impact, no doubt about it. Just one example, one lady in New York from a big publisher, I won't mention the name of the publisher, but you would know it if I said it.
Sure.
She really wanted to get ID marks. She needed it actually for a job, for a project. It was right in the beginning of this lockdown in New York in any event. And of course, New York was hard hit in the Bronx and all that. So yeah, she, please, can you give it to me now? And I'll make sure we cut a PO. Who knows when it will be? It could be 3-4 months, but everything was put on hold by this large publisher. You weren't allowed to buy anything without huge approval and this and that. So that's just one example where, sales took a hit because big companies went on hold. But the freelance business really has kept us going here. There's been a lot of freelancers still looking they have to take care of projects. We're going to help save time, help save money. And they've been, my friends in the restaurant world and what have you, they're like completely out of luck. It's just terrible. And so with that regard, we have it a lot better.
Right.
How about for you guys? How's it been?
As you said, like, we're fortunate enough that we have a lot of clients and we do a lot of different services. So some of those have been going fine. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys attend trade shows, but that's kind of part of what we do. And obviously, we're not going anywhere this year.
Well, that's a good point. But right now, actually, in 35 minutes, I'll be starting day 2 of Creative Pro Week, creativeproweek.com. That is was supposed to be in Austin, Texas. And obviously it's not.
Right.
And they made a good decision at a certain point not too long ago. They did it in an amazing time to move everything, because it was hard to say how long this was going to play out, this COVID.
Sure.
And they switched it to a completely online event, and it's been going really good. There's about 600 or 700 attendees, people from all over the U.S. on there, all over the world, learning about, in this case, Adobe products, InDesign, and Photoshop, Illustrator, all that kind of stuff.
Again, it's all about flexibility and adaptability, right? You got to change with the times, and times are changing fast.
They sure are. Yeah, Colin, that's for sure.
So I think that's about it for my questions. David, was there anything else you wanted to say about Markzware, or any final thoughts you wanted to leave us with before we go for the day?
Well, I really appreciate this. It's really neat to be on the other end of what I normally do with our customers. If people want to stay abreast of the Markzware stuff, and one last thing I'd like to add, since you gave me that opportunity, Colin,
sure.
Markzware.com, of course, all of our products. If people are interested in the closing statement here, they can cruise on over to Markzware.com/promo/CP2020. And there they can get actually a 20% discount good till June 15th, and a chance to enter to win a free Markzware product. There'll be 3 lucky winners. So it's perfect time for this interview.
All right. Well, thank you so much, David, for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you to all of our listeners. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Keypoint, and we'll see you again next week.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another edition of The Keypoint.
Listen to all of our episodes on your favorite podcast channel or on our website at keypointintelligence.com. Click on the Resources tab to view podcasts in the drop-down menu.